Did it for about six
Hamilton?
months. Oh yeah, it was Burr. Yeah, man, that's a show, man. That is a show.
No, nigga. That is work.
That's work.
That is work.
8 shows a week, bro.
That is work.
8 shows a week. Be
How
on
much
Broadway
weight you
this
lose
fall.
for that show?
Dude, I lost weight every damn day. On
You're
stage.
shitting all the time. The food don't do no good because I do that kind of work. He's like Sammy Davis. Don't listen to me. Sammy Davis is be a little shaky. Boom, go.
That's the secret, man. You gotta turn it on.
Go. Michael Jackson was like that too, shaky. Hey, Dad. Hey, I'm Mike Tyson. This is the Mike Tyson Show, and this is my partner, Henry Cejudo.
There we go, guys. And we have a special guest today, Wayne Brady, the actor, the singer, the comedian, the game host.
He's everything.
I mean, what don't you do?
I'm not gonna tell you. Because I like to it keeps a mystery as long as folks think that you can do everything, that you keep on working.
That's what this is about. You keep working. Huh?
Amen. Yeah, man. I'm so excited to be here, champ. Thank you. Thanks, man. Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah, likewise. So, man, tell us a little bit about your story, man, your upbringing, man, because obviously you didn't become successful out of, from night to night. Like, there was a process through your life. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
That.
Oh, yeah. Well, in a nutshell, I'm from Orlando, Florida. I was born in Columbus, Georgia. At 3 months, I guess I was moved, because I don't remember it, of course, to Orlando. I was raised by my grandmother because my dad was in the Army, in Nam and then in Germany and just traveling. So he wanted me to have a stable upbringing. My folks are from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. Croix. So my grandmother raised me.
So you're first generation American.
Well, to be from the Virgin Islands, it's still to be an American because it's a territory.
Okay. So it's like Puerto Rico.
U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
I never been there, Mike.
Oh, dude,
it's really awesome.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I was, So in a way, I'm definitely first generation here, being brought up and so my childhood raised in a neighborhood called Tangelo Park. No one ever tells you.
Was that the black section?
Yeah. Because when folks think of Orlando, you think of Disney, right? So you think of Disney and all the hats.
Motherfuckers out there. We had property out here that we rent out. Oh, nothing but some black motherfuckers out there all over the place.
Downtown?
Shit.
Yes, sir. Because you don't think of that.
You say, what the fuck?
Folks think it's all shiny.
Mississippi or something, right?
Well, it's the South. Folks forget because of Disney, they don't think of it being the South, but it's the South. And everything that comes along with that, I was raised hearing every kind of nigger being thrown at me and blah, blah, blah.
That's so much power you don't even know it till it's projected on you.
Would you like to see your kids, Mike, someday like go back to Brownsville for a little bit of time just to kind of, did you ever think of doing some things like that with your? But I'm just saying you as a father, because I have my mentor, he has kids and he's almost, sometimes he's like, man, I got to take my kids to Mexico. They need to witness like real poverty in order for them to understand kind of.
How do they witness that with him? Do they witness it by themselves? Do they have before they could engage with the dangers you engage with, which they have no experience to do?
Which is what you work as a parent to eliminate. You want to give your kids a better life than you ever had. So
I don't want my kids meeting guys like me as a child.
That's what you've worked for, is people to set that up.
How was it, Mike, for you when you were a kid, man? When you were 12, 13, I mean, you had talked about
interviewing him, man. It was hard. It's never hard. Nothing was given to you.
No, what I'm saying, when you're out in the streets, Mike, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's my life.
Yeah.
That's just being out in the streets at 10 years old, 4 a.m, that's just my life. Me and my friends get high. It's my life, don't know nothing else besides becoming who I am now. Who this guy, Mike Tyson?
And all those experiences add up to you. So
that makes me who I am.
But you can't put that on the kids because it's interesting to hear.
But yeah, do you get where I'm coming from though?
Oh yeah, and I've had that thought too. But if I took my daughter back to my neighborhood, which she's visited because my grandmother and my aunt still live in the same place, and I've tried to get them to live with me for years and years. But I also don't want to make my child a tourist because I think there's a little bit of
because then it would be unorganic, right? Like it just wouldn't be natural.
Not only is it unorganic, but it's false.
Yeah,
and then it's also like, see where I'm from? You don't want to. I don't like that. I'm proud of where I'm from, but that's not where she has grown up. So I don't want her to experience that.
Yeah, yeah.
No
So
way.
so to
She might
say,
not be lucky as we are
yeah,
and get out. She may not be as that lucky.
Yeah.
yeah, like kids have their own goals right now, and that's why you work so hard as a parent to set up a different paradigm.
Now you did bring up, man, because my girl, she was raised by her great grandmother. You know what I mean? How was it being raised by your grandmother, man? Like, you know what I mean? The old school principles, that curiosity.
I
She's
loved
not
it.
afraid to beat your ass.
Boom. And now that's the hot debate among parenting and even in the school circles about corporal punishment. And there is definitely an old school, and especially I think in the Black and Latin communities, of where you step out of line, mom and dad smack you. And I can say that for me, it worked to a degree. My grandmother didn't have to beat my ass more than just a couple times in my life for me to shake some of the friends that I was with, and I kind of stayed on the
They
path.
get into grandparents get into beating that ass. That's it's just a job
Switches.
thing, though. That's specialty. They're not gonna kill you, but you're gonna feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
But that's just a specialty.
Belts, switches, the
Anything.
extension cords.
They might even tell you to go get your shit, depending on how old your grandmother is.
Yes, and this is foreign to some
Don't
kids
bring no little
watching
switch,
this.
nigga.
This is foreign to them.
They know not to bring no little switch. They know not to bring. They know to bring them fucking monster tamer. You bring a little switch, you dead, nigga.
Because you thought that if I get the skinny thing, then that will cut your ass. So I learned quick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no,
Just
no.
gonna take her,
Yeah, I'll just stay out of trouble.
Know where all that comes from? Slavery. Beating your ass for the master don't have to. Saves you that depression or mission, whatever it was.
No, you're talking about like you disciplining and hitting your kids, or you talking about like the stick and
no, when you're beating them, that's teaching them stay in line for the big man move. That's what it's all about. Most of our characteristics come from that. Our slave ancestors.
There's definitely a generational trauma that plays out all the time, even with corporal punishment. So in talking about, being raised old school, I didn't necessarily mind it because I think it worked for whatever reason. But I do think that, especially in the Black community, just turning to, well, I'm gonna whoop your ass, that in some households is a substitute for, let me listen to you first, see what's going on with you, and let me parent you hands-on, versus I'm gonna parent you and beat you. The beating doesn't necessarily help. That's what I think. It's just my opinion.
Doesn't at all. It's like capital punishment. We've seen everybody, I know if I do this, they're gonna kill me. The government's gonna kill me. But still, people doesn't stop people from killing people. No, serious. And depends on what state you're in. If I shoot you, they're gonna hang me. Else, if I kill him or her, they're gonna fire squad me or something crazy, electrocute me. And it still doesn't prevent people from murders. Murder rate is even higher.
Because the end result isn't the thing, and that's the thing with corporal punishment.
But you do understand that, right?
Yeah.
It's even higher. Yeah. The murder rate is even higher since the electricity and all that stuff came back into existence.
Instead of looking at the end goal of, if you do this crime, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to hang you, I'm going to do this. Let's go to where the root of the problems are. Why are these people committing crimes? What can you do to alleviate all of that? And that's not where the money's being spent. It's being spent on incarceration and the end result instead of the programs that would help people not commit the crimes.
You know how you stop crime, how you stop hate and all that shit? You have to stop pain. If you can't stop pain, you can't stop all that. All this is coming from pain.
Well, there's an empathy piece too, because you have to understand that people are going through pain. And I think this is the conversation that's happening now because of the pandemic and because of the Black Lives Matter movement and everything that's happening.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people screaming out in pain.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is how do we deal that pain? And that's the part I think that pisses me off when I listen to people, especially even people that call themselves allies. They don't want to have or listen to certain race conversations because, well, I don't want to hear that. I didn't do it. I wasn't a slave owner. I like Black people. I'm your friend. Don't talk over us. Just listen to what's being said. If you show some empathy and go, oh, I hear that.
kindness and compassion. They're more powerful.
But on the flip side, Mike, you know what I'm thinking is we also need to have kindness and compassion for each other and empathy for each other, because
it goes both ways.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
What separated you, Wayne? Obviously, did you know you were special since you were a kid? You think you were born with this gift? Or when did you discover it?
That's a tricky question, because you could end up sounding mad arrogant if you're like, well, I knew I was special.
No,
Each kid should feel that they have something, but in my mind, I knew that I was a little different than a lot of the kids around me because of my interests. You know what I mean? That when you got something that not everybody has.
I possess something different than anybody else. It could have been my ego, but I used to know something good was gonna happen to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that spark that if you know that you've got something, it doesn't mean that you think you're special and better than somebody else. It's just that I know that I've got this thing, and it's up to you what you decide to do with it. And I knew I had something from the time that I was, my grandmother, being the overprotective grandma that she was, she kept me in the house a lot, which I was made fun of by a lot of the other kids in the neighborhood because I had a really strong accent because I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather, and they spoke with a very strong island accent. And so between the accent and what they thought of my parents, and I was the kid that was always inside.
I didn't have a grandmother, but from legend, she was just like a man. She ran the house. Her husband just made some money.
No, Mike, you said you were raised by your grandmother?
No, I said I've never been raised by grandmother. Legendary, she didn't take no shit.
So she ruled the roost.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Hood grandmas are a special breed and keep the family together.
Hey, but listen.
But strong.
She was very successful. She was very successful. She wasn't from the hood. She was Upper Brooklyn. And this is like the 20s we're talking about in Brooklyn, the 30s.
It's almost like they have that mentality to just cut the shit out of, like grandma's like, no, this is what it is.
Listen, my daughter's just, me and my wife just be talking, hey, you better do this. Hey, stop. When she went over her grandma, I'm gonna beat your black ass now. I'm not gonna say it again. Boom, she goes right away. Hey, no, she never heard that before.
Your daughter.
Yeah, get your black ass over here now. She never heard that stuff before.
She heard that coming from grandma?
Yes.
Yeah, that's traumatizing. That'll make me to fix my shit
when
immediately.
I heard that, I was so happy she heard that. She needs to have that fear. See, she don't have it from me and my mother. See, this is interesting. My girls, I love them, go the whole way, die, kill her, but I don't understand them. You know, I just don't understand them. What do they want? They want it all, then they don't. I just don't even try.
So do you feel like as a father, Mike, do you feel like them experiencing other emotions? Because obviously that's like a shocker, you know what I'm saying? Do you think it seems like you're good with that. It's like you want to give that to your kids.
Wow. I just don't want them to be hanging out with guys like me. When I was a kid, I want them to go a totally different route, which some of them have. And then some of them got it in them. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do what I want them to do.
How old are your kids?
They're adults. They graduated out of college and everything.
Wow. So you've got grown folks. So they're already making their own decisions right now.
Absolutely. So my daughter's getting married. She's like 32. She's getting married.
Congratulations.
Right? Thanks. And it's next year, right? But I started giving her money already for her to fucking save up. We'll do it now for next year. Be prepared. Everything will be here. We'll pay for it now. But I gotta remember, it's not my fucking wedding. You know? I act like it's my way. Hey, you take the $25,000, you spend this on the dress, I'll pay for the other shoes and everything else. And the reality is, she doesn't have an ego like me. She's not gonna spend $25,000 on a fucking wedding dress. She's gonna probably spend $5 on a wedding dress and keep the rest in the fucking bank's account, and then wait for daddy to spend his money and pay for the other.
Did you get some expensive suits, Mike? It sounds
no, but it's just that this is telling me this. Everybody doesn't have my out of whack ego. Everybody doesn't want to show off and shit on people and ball and all that. People just want a simple life. And sometimes I try to force my life on my kids, and these guys are not about that stuff. when I'm with my kids and people start coming around asking for autographs and pictures, that turns them off.
Yeah.
They want to spend time with their father, and they see that, check this out. My ego, they see that I spend a lot of time with the people kissing my ass.
Yeah.
Instead of them, and they really love me, and they're sincere.
Yeah, that's
See
unconditional
how
love,
my
right?
ego fucks with me sometimes and say, already got that. Get this.
Yeah. Do you feel Mike a little bit? Because you're a public figure too, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, obviously you're recognized. People know you. You're pulled.
In listening to you talk yesterday, I did an Instagram live with this cat where he hit me with a quote that hit me so hard that I thought, oh shit, this is what I've been doing my daughter's entire life. It's like when the world gets the best of you, gets the person who is bright and shiny, and you sign autographs and you'll do things and da da da, and that energy that you've given to the world, because it goes along with the profession, your family gets the rest of you. And that brought me nearly to tears, because we had a whole conversation about, ego and toxic masculinity and what does that mean right now, and being a father
It's
of
you
a
and your
daughter.
family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my family
Yeah.
have that too.
So that's deep. So being a public figure, whoever you are, it's a double-edged sword. The thing that makes you you, that people are drawn to, you're banking on the fact that people know who you are. That makes you valuable in the workspace. If you give all of that, by the time that you get home, you're like, look, I just want to kind of not just, look, I don't want to talk. I don't want to run around. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z because I'm bright and shiny all the damn time. That's deep when your kids are like, hey, but I would like some of that. Or your partner. I would like the man that I love to be bright and shiny for me. So why do I just get the cranky ass dude?
Brother, listen, brother. My birthday had passed, my 55th
55.
birthday.
Yeah.
And when I had to get some, it was just like twisting their fucking arms and say, happy birthday, Daddy, we love you. I was like, oh shit. On my birthday, I found out some of my kids don't even like me. What the fuck? I'm thinking I'm a good guy, sending money, looking out for them. Fuck. And that happens to, and they were right. I am self-centered and God complex sometimes, because I have a low self-esteem from my childhood.
Yeah.
So I replaced that with indestructible and all that bullshit that I say I'm God. And my kids think that's really me. They think I really look at myself as that's my ethos or whatever it is, my whole barometer of the person. But they don't know this is paying for your school.
Have you shared that with them?
I don't think they understand the concept of me being Iron Mike Tyson and me being Dad. They don't understand. Maybe I bring Iron Mike to the house or sometimes.
Do you feel like you have to shift your role a little bit, Mike, from more of Mike Tyson to Dad?
Yeah, with certain children.
Yeah, because you got 7 kids, right, Mike?
Yeah, certain children. Everybody, all of them are different, have different personalities, different egos, totally different. But they have to understand that no one gave this to me. I'll pay for all your rooms and your fun, but nobody paid for my good time.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that either. I like doing that, but I want to know what it's like to break that back a little. I don't want them to be able to give it under the slightest struggle.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when, you take care of men and women all their lives. As soon as they have to do something for themselves, slightest struggle, they give in.
Yeah. It's like you feel like you want to give more of that teaching to your kids.
Yeah, maybe that's not for them.
Because you had mentioned the conversation that her grandmother had with your daughter, and then you had just mentioned what you mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Seems like you want to give them experience, which there's no money that could pay for that.
Oh, 100%. But how am I tell a person who's educated, basically some of the best colleges in the world, that this is where you come from and this is who your father is? And they're looking at me and they don't understand a word that I'm saying. They just don't get it yet. They'll never get it because they have to be in there and live in that.
But did you have those conversations with them early on so that they would know who you are?
Hey, I had it from when they were little kids. I'm still doing it to this day.
That's such a specific type of relationship, and you would have had to have been in the shoes of someone who comes from a certain background, who comes from the hood, and then you've done well for yourself and you've had kids. That conversation is so different. It ties back into what we started talking about in the beginning, with, you know, taking your kid back and showing them this and whatnot. That'll never be their experience.
No,
but if you can impress upon them, like I really tried hard from the time that my daughter was able to understand, to tell her, I said, hey, you have a very privileged life, and I'm glad for that, because this is where I'm from. But I also want you to understand that it's privilege, and I want you to understand me. So I've tried to have that talk with her. And there are times when, you know what, I've felt that she's been ungrateful. And I've had to think about that, because I would get mad about that. But it's not that she's being ungrateful. She just doesn't have anything to right. It's a concept. She has nothing to scale it against. So the best that we can do, I feel, sometimes is just to be honest with them. And then at a certain point, you have to set them up for success by going, hey, you got to do this on your own. Mm-hmm. Easier said than done, because you never want them to go.
No, but I just feel like it's a process, you know, like anything, you know, it's a process, Mike. And I think, you know, I feel for you, Mike, because God, you're Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Like you're probably, Mike, one of the top 3 most recognized face in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, can you think of anybody? You know,
Hey, listen, I asked for that when I was a kid, and my mentor said, "Be careful what you ask for."
Mm-hmm.
Wayne, from obviously from studying acting since the beginning to arriving in Hollywood, man. I want to know your Hollywood struggle stories, man. Back because you came here in '96, right?
Was it 96? It was, something like that. 95, 96. Before I got here, I'd already been acting since I was 16. And so I got here when I was like 22, 23. And I didn't know what to expect. You get off the plane just like anybody else, thinking this is the land of opportunity. I can come out here and get a break.
I was born here. I think that this is the land of opportunity. You could be whatever the fuck you want. Listen, know what, really? You don't understand that with you hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, chilling out.
Yeah.
This is a foreign guy. He couldn't speak the language, and now he's the governor of another country.
Mike, that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, man.
Yeah, well, that's the American dream personified.
Yeah, you hear what I just said, what he did.
And I told him
He's a foreigner. He came here, lifted weights, became a brute, and everybody loved him. Then he learned the language. Then he learned all of the infrastructure about this country. And then he became a governor.
Yeah.
Now, if that's not the land of
actor married to Kennedy,
honey, I don't know what is.
Yeah, this is definitely a place of opportunity. This in New York, you know. So when I got here, I struggled, but I'm going to say that I was fortunate, because going back to, I always knew that I was going to do something. Didn't know what it was, and all I ever asked God for, I said, look, I just want to work. So I never thought I'd be on TV, or folks would know my name, or I'd get to do all the cool shit that I've done. I said, I just want to work. So when I got here, I hustled. I worked, luckily most of my jobs were in entertainment. I worked at Universal Studios doing theme park shows. I was in the Beetlejuice Rock and Roll show, and I was in a stunt show there, and I was a doo-wop singer.
You remind me so much of Sammy Davis Jr.
Well, Sammy was one of my idols. You know, Sammy and Ben Vereen.
Ooh, Ben the Bad.
Come on, man. Shout out to Ben. Ben is like my godfather, man. He and I talk all the time. I call him Pops, and he calls me son. I feel like I'm in a direct spiritual descendant of him. And those cats like Sammy that opened the door. And the thing that from the time I was a kid and reading these books about Sammy, was like, you have to make yourself the most valuable person in the room. So learn as much as you can, do as much as you can.
You know what Sammy, that's what Mr. Sinatra said. So the best revenge is success.
Absolutely, absolutely. Across the board, because it's the way that you can, no matter what someone thinks of you, regardless of race or your economic background or whatnot, as long as you can bring something to the table that they can't, that's an amazing power.
I guess, yeah. Sammy was so bad.
Sam was a bad, bad man. I'm sad.
People don't understand.
I never got a chance to meet him, but I met his wife.
Oh, he was so bad. He was fly. He was fly
Oh
before
man, you got to
fly
hang out
was
with
fly.
Sammy?
I had the chance to meet him, and I used to have to talk to him and see that he was
Wow.
like us.
Man, that's something that I wish I would have gotten a chance to meet him. I met his wife, Altavis, before she passed, and she came to see me at the Hollywood Bowl. And I did a night one night, which was me doing Sammy Davis Jr. songs. And she came up to me afterwards and she gave me stuff of his that I still have. She gave me some books and pictures that he signed. And she said, Sammy would have loved to have met you. And that was one of the greatest compliments anyone could have paid me in my life, ever. So I definitely hustled when I got out here. I delivered.
You dig it.
I had a job for one day. That I was a messenger for one day when I first got here, and that's back in the day of Thomas guides, when you had to use a Thomas guide instead of GPS to figure out where you were. And I didn't know this damn city, and I drove around for 6 hours trying to deliver. I believe there were architectural plans because they were in that tube.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I was like, this is 6 hours in. I can't find my way. I'm lost. I'm by the airport. I don't know where I am. Screw it. So somebody didn't get to build a house because I tossed that tube and I was like, I'm out. And I worked kids' parties. I sang at supper clubs.
All the stuff that you're telling us that then still don't tell us who you are.
Oh, but that's a big piece of who I am.
No. Check this out. Where did you get that thought that I'm somebody?
I got it because I heard that I wasn't somebody.
Yeah.
I
understand that too.
That's the thing, that if you have enough people, and I don't want to take up the whole show talking about it.
No,
but
it's unlimited time here.
but in a nutshell, like I was explaining earlier about growing up in the neighborhood I grew up, it's amazing to feel othered as an other. And what I mean about that is growing up in my hood, I always felt different, and I was made fun of, or I was told that I wasn't black enough, or I was told that my family was this, I was told that, or like, it's weird when another black person says to you, like I wrote this whole thing that's on Spotify right now, this thing called The Angriest Black Man in America, or something, where this girl in my front yard in front of all these kids said to me, this light-skinned girl, as we were all playing, she said, Wayne Brady, you's a real ugly motherfucker, and wrapped her mouth around motherfucker. And I was like, why? 'Cause you black. Now, you're black. So what do you mean I know I'm black. Why would that be so when she said that word to me, being, I don't know, I was like 10 or something, the head games, the way that can fuck with you, I'm in a neighborhood full of black people. But you just told me that I'm ugly because I'm black. But you also said that I'm not black enough because of whatever your reasons are. So that does a job on you. And
listen, imagine the job it did on her.
Yes. And that's the piece it's that trauma piece and whatnot. Because she had to get that from someplace.
Hurt people, brother.
Mm-hmm. Hurt people. And now that's why you have to have empathy for each other, and that's when I realized that I needed to, even at that age, I knew that I was going to take whatever talent I had, and nobody knew that I could sing, dance, act, or do anything because I was in my little room watching TV and reading books and doing audio plays and working on voices and imagining things. Nobody knew I could do anything until I was like 15 or 16. They're like, oh shit, Wayne can sing. When you did? Because I was training. I was in hiding. I said, I'm going to train by myself. I'm going to study Sammy and these greats, and I'm going to come out swinging because that's going to be my way out. So that made me, so each time that somebody had some shit to say to me about, well, I wasn't this or I wasn't that, I was going to take that and I was going to use success. You're right. Success is the best revenge. I was going to use that to take myself out of that situation. But the bad part about that is you begin to weaponize it. So instead of me saying that I wanted to be
not
good,
successful, it's a weapon for
right.
us.
It's like, fuck y'all, I'm successful. That's not the best way to do it.
Frank Sinatra said success. We look at success as a weapon.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, because we're afraid.
Yeah, it should be joyful.
We don't ever want to be hurt again, so we use it as a weapon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
fear,
but I think
is the most powerful, non-existent element in the world. Doesn't even exist, but it's powerful.
Because it drives you, or it stops you from being driven.
Woo! But if it got you driven.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't also think it was a bit of you had this God-given ability. And the reason why I say God-given is because improv. That stuff is not easy, man. You ever try playing charades
Man,
with friends
if it was
that?
God-given, he wouldn't have to train to do it. You know, God gives you the ability. But, you know, if you don't train,
yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah, God gives you the...
No, God gives you the thought.
Right. It's like an IQ.
Yeah.
When folks are like, well, I've got an IQ of such and such, that's dope. You can have an incredibly high IQ, but don't get it twisted. Your IQ is not how smart you are. Your IQ is your capacity. So you can have a high IQ, but if you don't use it or train, then it's nothing.
Right. But it is a gift. What I'm saying is you recognize that gift that you
Absolutely.
have.
It was a
and
gift.
And you worked on it, but improv, because you're going from singing to dancing. Can we roll up one of
No, never me and Wayne Brady doing every little step.
That's one of the best moments in my life, Mike Tyson.
Right, Bob came
That's one of the best moments in my life.
I can tell you, this guy, dude, watch this guy doing this.
You don't know the joy in my heart when we called and we asked Mike Tyson, hey, Mike, let's have, because it was after I saw the documentary and we reached out and you know, I tell you every time I see you, I'm so proud of the work that you do and the struggle and the place where you've come from and the honesty that you have on your self-growth and the person that you've made yourself. And so that was enough for me to be able to go out to dinner and tell Mike that. And then I pitched him this stupid idea. I'm like, hey, let's do something funny together. And he said yes. And that turned into us doing every little step you take. That was so dumb and awesome.
Yeah, so this is how long ago was this?
Oh man, I don't even know.
I just had my baby girl to 09, 010.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, I want to say 10. How old is she now?
She's 12.
Then yeah, it's about 12, 13 years ago.
What a
And I've also got to say that we're actually dancing. Like we're really doing Bobby Brown's moves. What I was so impressed with about Mike, and not to embarrass you, being here is first off, Mike didn't have to do the video. Mike wanted to do the video. His ego, you were talking about your ego. You had no ego.
No.
He came in and learned the choreography.
No. My ego told me to do this shit.
No, but that's what's dope is your ego said, I'm going to do it. As opposed to somebody else would be like, no, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look that.
This is my youth right here. That song is my youth.
Killed it.
Just like Biz Markie died, that's Wild Baby. That's our youth that died.
God bless Biz Markie.
Our youth. She's doing a lot of good stuff,
Robin is killing it right now. She has the Black Lady sketch show on HBO.
She's kicking ass. This nigga, look how he's young. He was something, man.
And then to have Bob come out and do it, man, that was so dope.
Shit.
So this is an example of, I feel that certain things can't be funny unless you can do it. He learned the choreography, man.
Oh damn.
I love this shit. Look, this nigga love this shit. Look at that. Wayne love this shit.
And then Bobby Brown showed up, which was so dope.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Hey, go Mike. Hey. He had one rehearsal.
I love this video. I love this video so much.
See, that's an example to me of when someone learns the lesson of you take yourself seriously, of course, but you don't take yourself so seriously that you're not willing to be open to something new.
Listen, you gotta be able to make a fool of yourself and not take yourself serious.
Yeah. That's a big part of success,
That's
right,
part
Mike?
of my success. Everybody thinks I'm a mean, shrewd motherfucker. I'm a fucking clown.
It's like you can't be afraid to get embarrassed or to fail, right, Mike?
No, how can you get embarrassed? We're all gonna die and go somewhere. How he gonna embarrass me?
Yeah.
He's no better than me. This is what it is. That's our problem now. All of us think that we're special and we wouldn't do what this guy, this girl did and everything. We're just animals being taught to be human beings. We're not human beings, but animals taught to be human beings. And some dig this though. Just like people, some learn faster than others. You know, so the ones that don't get it right away, we have to do something to those guys. Maybe put them in an institution or something, or keep them on parole, or some kind of way we have to control them. It's called eliminating all brutes, pretty much.
Where'd you get this from, Mike?
Huh?
Did you study somebody on? Like, what did you?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that is a documentary, Eliminating All Brutes. And it's just like when I read The Prince when I was a kid, it's just how we are. We're born to worship something. We have to worship something more than us. Some of us slip through the hole and think they're God and make these false, I don't know, temples or worships of God or whatever, in all religions. You know, everybody look at it from a dollar perspective. Not everybody. And that's just how the world goes.
What's the name of the documentary again?
Eliminate All Brutes. It's like when the Mayflower came here and they saw the Native Americans, they just started eliminate them for their land and stuff.
Oh, I see it. But is what you're talking about, though, because now when I just read that, I went, oh, that's right, I've heard of it. I understand the principle that you're talking about, but you know that principle was also used talking about the Mayflower, that principle was used by white supremacists.
Yeah.
So like that's a unifying theory of white supremacy in terms of we've got to eliminate the brutes, what they perceived as brutes. But I think what you're talking about is in life and nature, the people that exist outside of, we all sign a contract. Each day we walk outside, we sign a contract that I won't take a hammer and smack this dude upside the head or run this guy over with my car.
Unwritten law.
The unwritten law. Yeah. But there are some people that they don't want to be governed by that unwritten law.
Yeah.
Those people have to be dealt with because they make things worse for the rest of us.
Because of fear.
But then how do you deal with those people, going back to what we were saying earlier in terms of corporal punishment and the death sentence? If there are people that refuse to exist within the parameters, what do you do with that person?
No, we do. Rehabilitate him.
Okay.
We turn him from a savage into a gentleman or a lady.
Mm-hmm.
That's more powerful than killing them.
That is powerful. But do you think there are people who refuse, for whatever reason, they refuse to? It's like Mike just walked in and he's going to try to rehabilitate me and give me the things that I need. I don't want it.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't know who's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the way that we defeat our enemies. We don't kill them. We change them.
That's great. That's positive. And that's true. I think that's the ideal. I would like to see that become more than just an ideal, because you're right. It's more powerful to convert and change than it is to throw away, discard, or destroy.
You see Malcolm X. A lot of people do that. It's changed their life to want a better life. The reason that we have gangsters in Chicago killing themselves, they don't have hope for a better life.
That's true. But I think the question still comes back, and it's such a rhetorical question, because the answer is not just in Chicago, but wherever that type of violence exists in those neighborhoods. What do we do? How do we give?
We change their way of thinking. That is a better part of life. And you don't have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's love. Loving someone. Knowing someone loves you. Even forget having a job. Just that alone is powerful enough to exist.
Because it's part of that trauma.
Absolutely.
Cats are operating from a place of deep trauma.
Even the people who we think got it all, they are too.
I talk about this a lot. I've been outspoken about mental health, especially mental health in the Black community, and how, it's, at least growing up, if you would even mention a psychiatrist or therapy, that's not for us. I've been very vocal about mental health and honest about how I feel, that I'm driven by that therapy and feeling angry which is at odds with the image that some people have. Oh, Wayne is this safe dude and da-da-da. Is like, but you don't know me. You don't know the shit that I walk around with daily. And we don't know the shit that we each walk around with daily.
Yeah, you ever mess around with the psychedelics, anything like that? You ever hear Mike talk about the toad?
Yeah, which I've got to admit, we were even pre-show. I was talking with some of your producers about mushrooms and stuff. I'm
on mushrooms right now. Just kidding.
Which I
any,
envy.
Yeah, I'm glad. I thought it wasn't gonna go well at first. It started going good now.
Yeah.
So
That's
I just
why I
never
had
knew.
you in the video because I forgot his fucking name and everything. The shrooms was burning in my head.
So as someone that's never done that, how does it open you? Because I've heard that it can be used to treat mental illness and to treat anxiety.
Listen, let me get. I don't even know how to articulate it, so I'm gonna express it like this. When you take the toad, you have to prepare not to be yourself anymore. You know you're gonna change. All right, that's all I can tell you. If you like who you are right now and stuff, you don't fuck with this shit. It's gonna make you better, but that's the fear part. You gotta go through the fear. This is gonna make you better. Listen, you don't know nothing about it.
It'll take you, Mike. Correct me if I'm wrong. It'll take you in a life roller coaster.
Listen,
and everything that's kind of happened in your life.
First time I did the toad, I lost 110 pounds, man. This ain't bullshit. I fought somebody.
Wait, so you mean the one time that you did it?
No, the second time.
Okay, the second time you did it.
Yeah.
But how long does it last?
It lasts like 20 minutes.
That's it?
In 20 minutes, you want to get like 2,000 years of experience in your face. Whoa!
See, that's some quantum shit.
Yes. That's what I can articulate. Yes.
He gets a compression of time.
Listen, you can't articulate it. You're going to see it. You're going to see your great-great-grandmother. Listen, you're going to see the first you. We don't know if it's going to be Chinese. The first male you. The first guy that, when his dick comes out, your bloodline. The first one, you're going to meet that person.
You know why I can't do it? And maybe this is, we're talking about fear.
No,
I was raised because I saw so many cats that I grew up with, whether it was crack, especially crack at that point, crack or whatever, it was drilled into me. And I joke about this on stage. It's like there were so many things I wanted to try, but in my mom's head, when you're going to die. So you don't smoke drugs, you're going to die. So I hear in my head, but I hear about mushrooms and I hear about these experiences, and I want to see it.
This toad is, mushroom is not even 1/10% what this is.
So when you're talking about the toad, you mean the literal toad?
It's the Sonoran toad. So it's also known as the bullfrog. So what they do is, especially the Sonoran toad that's up in like northern Mexico, Arizona.
He stays underground.
That's the one that
10 months of the year.
Well, you could. I've never seen that. But
he stays underground 10 months out of the year.
Yeah, so when it comes out, so you have 2 months to catch it and then extract the venom from it, and then you smoke the venom. But it really Mike doesn't see this stuff as drugs. Like to us, it's like it's medicine.
I did it over 50 times probably. Never having the same fucking experience.
Wow.
If you're always scared. See, I don't get scared anymore because I always want to look at it as I'm getting ready to go die. Because you feel like you die. But I look at it as I'm getting ready to go get reborn.
Yeah.
And do you remember the trips that you have, like the things that you see?
Sometimes you don't, but then you see some shit that like, whoa, you kill it. You might say, hey, it's over. I don't want to do this no more. I don't. But you gotta go for the ride. You're on the ride. Not gonna stop.
That's what I'm afraid of, because I don't want to give up control.
Listen, you'll find out how powerful you are once you give that up. Yeah. Listen. People think it's a little bit that people think you're an uppity nigga. Once you get this, you're going to look at people different, you're going to look at yourself different, and your whole desire, your whole fucking
it's like
barometer is being successful. It won't let you make an ass out of yourself. Maybe sexual or something, but as far as doing some stupid shit, going with the wrong people, hanging out with the wrong people, you don't do that no more.
You've got me contemplating.
Listen,
yeah, but this is the thing. What it is it's a little different from everybody. What it is, it's kind of a psychology for you. Like it shows you compassion, bro. It shows you what really matters in life. I did it with Mike about a year ago. And I was just like, Mike's trip was different, Mike's trip was different. Mine was like, man, it brought me back to when I was a baby, like how my mom was raised. Like it just gives you the whole answers to what you've been looking for. It's a trip, dude.
I always cry when I do it.
It'll be different for everybody, man. But it's something that you got to be ready for. And you have to allow it to take within you. You don't want to fight it.
If I would have ever saw somebody do it before I did, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Once your ego died, you don't know what you don't know your fate, you don't know you're so scared. You're oh God. And plus, under the toad, it's gonna feel like all your secrets that if they knew they wouldn't be my friend, the feeling of it being exposed.
It's like
you
it strips
you.
you.
If they hear, if I let them know this, they gonna look at me different. It won't explode, but the feeling that you will have that everyone knows. It gives you your weakest and your strongest moments, and at the end of the game, it's like you your God.
Would it be like this too, Mike? It's almost like it strips you naked, and it teaches you like naked, like you know what I'm saying? Like strips you naked, like you're there, like you're exposed, raw. But it's so beautiful, man, because you're saying like, oh my God, I did this, and that. It's like, but then you go back and you look at the people that probably hurt you. You're like this, and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a trip. It's you reach a level of emotion where it's like hate and love and everything in between. How beautiful everything is.
And all this in 20 minutes.
All this in 20.
You find out the beauty of death as well.
In what way?
Because how could death not be beautiful if life is beautiful? What would the two exist for? You think God made life beautiful, then he's going to make death not as equally beautiful? This is what Buddha existence was, because he didn't understand people applying self-suffering. Suffering is just that's not made for us. Humans are not supposed to suffer. God didn't make anything here for us to suffer, but we put self-suffering. We want to, we're sociopaths. That's another word. What's that word when you like masochistic?
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are like masochists. We like to feel pain. We want to take the poison and wait for you to die. That's just some mentalities that we have out here. Some people just in love, and there's so much in love, they want to have a suicide pact with their mate.
God, I don't love you that much.
Hey. No, it's not that you don't love her that much. It's just that your understanding of love is limited at that level.
Well, it's skewed, yeah.
Yeah, at that level, but it just keeps going. It's just, even myself, at a certain level, hey, nigga, chill. And it keeps going for people who have different thoughts and passions about love.
So if you're able to use the toad or use mushrooms, that's something that I've definitely thought about now, especially when it comes to mental health.
That's fun. Mushrooms, all that stuff is fun.
And remember too, when Mike talks about the toad, bro, it's not like you don't become an addict through it. Like you really don't, man.
No.
It's not like
I'm into a nut. I like doing it every day or whatever.
But you can even ask Mike, like even right before he's getting ready to do it, like he fears it, bro.
Listen,
he's scared.
Not no more. I used to be, because I looked at it as death. I'm ready to die today, because it was like a death, an ego death. And I look at it as being reborn now. I'm going to be reborn today.
So you use the shrooms today, not the toad. Because if you use the toad, then you wouldn't be able to have this conversation.
No, I'll be under some shit. But after I use the toad, 20 minutes later, I'll be able to have this conversation.
Wow.
Sometimes the toad, you vomit, you throw up, you scream, you cry. It just puts you in so many different emotions.
Yeah.
So is the toad like, what's the thing that the shaman used, the ayahuasca?
That didn't work good with me, because I wasn't there with a negative perspective of it. So it didn't work good with me, but it stuck with me for a long time. Like a month, it stayed in my system. I need to try it again under different circumstances of mental allowance. I got to give myself up and not be an arrogant guy. And that's what it's all about, submission.
Yes, that's a great word.
It's going to make you submit, so you might as well go in there already submit.
Right, so don't fight.
I used to try to fight it, and then they showed me. I went in there like I'm a bad, and then they showed me some bad motherfucker, and I realized I'm not a bad motherfucker, and I submit. If you think you're a bad nigga, it's going to show you some bad motherfuckers. You're gonna be screaming, oh no! Oh, they're gonna show you there's some scary people out there that
you're scaring them, Mike.
nah, nigga. Don't go. Yes, don't go. Depending on the mentality you go in there with.
Right. That's what it sounds.
Every time
it
I
sounds
go
like.
in there, I go in there with the God perspective. You know, I'm nothing. God is everything. Glory goes to God. Because you go in that motherfucker with the confidence that you're something. It's gonna, matter of fact, it's gonna show you the first time that you're nothing. It just does that off back, shows you nothing.
It'll strip
Do you do it with a purpose? Like before something, you go,
yes.
go. I'm going to use this to get to that next state.
Like I'm getting ready to have this exhibition, and I'm totally on the toad, smoking.
Because it unlocks something in you.
It's just explains to me who I really am, and I don't have to be a fake nigga. It's, it's even better. It's just tuning into you.
It humbles you, right, Mike?
Yeah, it tunes into you, and you don't worry. But listen, I don't worry about no one's talking like that. And I used to say that before, but I was lying. I did care what people would say. This is the first time in my life. I don't give a fuck. They don't exist. I don't even see their fucking face.
Well, you've lived long enough and done enough to earn that just for yourself.
Yeah, I earned that after I been involved with all my stuff, because it's difficult to learn when you're going through all that stuff. You know?
Wow.
Sit on it, Wayne.
No, but it's funny that we're having this talk, because we didn't even talk before the show, but I've had this recommended to me as a means of unlocking and using it in a therapeutic fashion. And I was very much on the fence because, I've been programmed to, no, I'm not going to do some shit like that, blah, blah, blah.
You have to understand what the toad, right? It's going to give you understanding what it's like to be the great one, the universe. You're going to feel it. You're going to know you're part of everything. Every person, every race, every animal, every tree, every grass, every shithole, every dump waste, with the beauty and the so-called ugly. But God made it all so it can't be ugly. It's just a limited understanding of it,
All right. Well, if I decide to, I'm gonna let you know, because I can talk to you about the experience.
Listen,
that would be cool.
Listen, right?
That would be cool.
When I first did it, I didn't know. Let me try that again. I know this. I know what I just saw. I didn't fucking see.
Mike gets a second dose, bro.
Let's try it again.
He does two.
This is not right. Something ain't right. I need to try this out. This is fucking bullshit. They did this on me. They setting me up. So I had to take another.
What type of environment did you do it in?
I'm by myself with the Sherman. I'm on the floor. I also allow my wife to come in. And I feel very safe with her. So I feel safe with the Sherman too. But every experience I experience with my wife. So
you have to be with loved ones or people that are close to you, because you don't want to ruin the experience with somebody that people probably bring shit with them. Do you agree, Mike? There's some dudes that are so corrupt, they're trying to do this toad that you just can't be around it. As crazy as that sounds, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's why I asked.
Be good. Everything gotta be
what's
positive.
The environment?
Nigga, it's like a ceremony. Ain't no, hey nigga, let's do some toes. Come on, nigga, this is divine.
It sounds like that's what it is. It doesn't sound just like, oh, let's get high. It's a purposeful key.
Yes.
You can't even pay for it, so I always give donations. You can't take money for it, so you have to say donation. You can't sell it.
Yeah.
Bad omen. Can't sell it. Can't exchange money for the toad. Maybe for charity of the toad, and he passes forward, but your intention is giving this money is just for donations and not for buying this, because this can't be bought. It's not supposed to be bought.
But Wayne, sit on that,
Yes,
Wayne.
sir. I'm going to sit on that for real.
As a 5-time Emmy Award winner, is that surreal to you, man?
Absolutely. It's surreal to me because
Isn't it crazy that they won't take
thought
the money unless it say donation? Isn't it crazy? What the hell? This is a scam. This donation, the sly word to mean take the money. I don't know. It's just
because you don't want the karmic blowback.
It's pure as possible. Because we supposed to be, God made this for it's on a fucking toad. You can't sell this shit.
So I'm not going to ask you what I was going to ask you because I was going to ask
because a lot of things will be stripped. Like even though like even like the question that I asked you, like having being a 5-time Emmy Award winner, that shit doesn't matter, man. Like it's a trip. Nothing, like nothing, right, Mike?
Yeah, like I don't walk around even thinking about those things because I think that yeah, like it's great when you've achieved certain benchmarks, but at a certain point, in a certain age and a certain place in your life, it's about it's about your family and getting better.
Yeah, it is too, but it's still getting shit. It's in you. Your family can't stop it from you. Nothing. God put it in you. Awards, getting shit. I'm a competitor of life.
Because you gotta be a competitor, right? Right.
No,
I mean, if you don't compete,
but you knew that. A lot of people don't know that. You know that already.
Yeah, man. If you don't compete, where are you going to sit? Like,
all of the Greeks, the Romans, even the ancient Africans, they always allowed the kids to fight hard, fight like your brothers hard, punch them in the face, kick them, fight hard because they didn't want you to give in under the slightest struggle. They wanted you to have some kind of game in you, some kind of thoroughbredism.
Because you have to. Life itself is a struggle. And even listening to you talk about your toad and everything, whatever the thing is that you use as a tool to help you stay in the game and compete. If it's that to help your mental state that you could do all your shit.
Listen. Oh, I can't even say this. You can't tell the toad what it's doing. What you and me, you just can't say, I do this. If this is good enough, the toad will shit on you. The toad is God. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is your closest feeling with God until you die.
Wow.
I don't know, you might see him, but I couldn't see him, but I could feel him. It's like you can almost see him, but you feel the intensity of feeling, the empath that the toad give you, the feeling of being an empath will blow your mind.
And do you feel him each time?
Your feelings of divineness, it humbles you. It just humbles you. It doesn't even make you think that it gives you that power. I'm not bad, but it humbles you to know that it's that kind of power out there and you're really nobody. And I think I'm a bad motherfucker, but all actually, I'm nobody. I'm just a piece of the puzzle.
Well, anybody who thinks that they're a bad motherfucker, just like you were saying, no, you said God given. You can have all that power to be the baddest, but it's not yours. It didn't come from you, right?
Once you're noticed by God, you're noticed by the devil too. He can't know about you, another guy don't.
Right.
His job is to crush everything God does, so he spies with this guy.
Well, you know the saying, right? Like when we're kids, the devil is a busy man.
Oh man. But listen, he's really not busy because he's like the lion. He sends his dominions out to cause shit. He's chilling, hanging out with God, talking some shit, but he has his dominions out doing shit. God got his dominions out doing shit, and we're the best God with.
Because if you're on your grind, then the demons are on their grind too.
Absolutely. It's not that easy, man. It's the word I was looking for, the polarity. The yin and the yin and the yang.
Yep.
If I don't have this bad shit, the good shit don't exist.
Which I'd never thought about even when you talked about death, because I think I'm like a lot of folks, I'll be honest, I fear death. You do everything in your power to never, we're all going to see it.
You should fear life. Life is something to fear. You don't know when shit's going to happen, Death, from your perspective, is just death.
Dude, he's spot on, man. That's a trip, dude.
I never thought of it that way.
Fear to death. Death is the silent love. This shit is coming at you. Hey, no.
Because
hey, can I be your agent? Hey, can I
life is the ultimate improv show. It's the ultimate improv show.
And death is eternal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we die, our spirit's gonna go somewhere.
No, but death is us at our highest potential.
Wow.
How do you handle? Listen. I know he said I don't take myself seriously, but then in my brain tells me shit. Wow, you're the baddest motherfucker that did this. You're the baddest motherfucker that did that. But it still says you wasn't nice to those people, huh? That's what the students put you in that shit to make you so high that you're a god. Then it starts hitting you with this. Hey, remember you didn't treat that person that good? I don't know why it does it to you. I don't know why it does it to me. Puts me talking about how great I am. I'm almost a god, this and that. Listen, remember that person you didn't treat too good, that girl this time? Remember that day? This and I said, whoa. And I said, hey, now I run upstairs to my wife, baby, I'm sorry, at this shroom again. It's fucking with me, baby. It's fucking with me. I told you not to use the damn shrooms. Shrooms will take you somewhere, man. You make you think you're somebody special. Okay. Remember you did this? Remember you did that, nigga? You didn't treat that person right?
Because it shows you both sides. So maybe it's got to set you up, because then you wouldn't get the lesson.
I used to like the feeling it has where you almost feel like you're God and everybody else is here just to entertain you.
Yeah.
And then it starts going through, hey, you wasn't a good person to that person last time. Remember you did this to that person yesterday? I used to run upstairs to my wife, baby, I'm sorry. I just shooting and it's killing me.
Wayne, talk to us a little bit about the philanthropy, man. You have an academy out here in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I'm starting an academy with the group called Freestyle Love Supreme. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton and In the Heights.
Yeah, I've been to Hamilton. I went backstage with all the guys.
Great show, right? I did it for about 6 months. Oh yeah, it was Burr. Yeah, man, that's a show, man. That is a show.
No, nigga. That is work.
That's work.
That is work.
8 shows a week, bro.
That is work.
8 shows a week. But
I'm
I was
giving you
so
love for the work.
Oh, thanks, man.
Show.
I was so happy to do that show.
Shit.
But Lynn has a group called Freestyle Love Supreme, which will be on Broadway this fall.
How much weight you lose for that show?
Dude, I lost weight every damn day. Because you're running around on stage.
You're shitting all the time. The food don't do no good because I do that kind of work.
That's the best shape I'm in whenever I'm doing Broadway because you have to train. What folks don't realize is to be a Broadway performer, you are an athlete. Not like to act in a show, but if you're doing a musical where you're singing, dancing, acting, you're doing character, you have to keep your body in tip-top shape.
Right.
You have to eat right.
Yeah, because imagine like the speaking and you got to act, you got to move, especially you. Like you got to hold it, right?
You have to hold it together. You can't drink because you lose your voice. You can't stay out late. You kind of live this very...
It's boxing.
Yeah.
Listen, he's like Sammy Davis. Don't listen to me. Sammy Davis is be a little shy kid. Boom, go.
That's the secret, man. You got to turn it on.
Go. Michael Jackson was like that too, shy kid. Hey, Dad.
You always got to have that thing in you. And so I'm trying to inspire other kids that I feel were like me. So with Freestyle Love Supreme, I'm starting my academy, which is kind of like the Groundlings or Second City here in Los Angeles and one in New York, where we'll have outreach into all the neighborhoods, Compton, Inglewood, Los Angeles, trying to bring acting and improv into the schools. So that we can teach them. Improvisation is all based on the yes and thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's yes and. So you accept the challenge that life gives you, and you yes to that,
how many great people you create by doing that?
That's what I want to. I want to create people
greater than all the great
that ever came before. Make them better. Yeah. That's what I want, because I wish I would have had people to guide me like that. So I'm starting that academy. It'll be open by the first part of next year.
That's so smart, especially here in LA, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's so awesome.
And then so we'll have a theater company as well. We're gonna open up a theater here.
Expand, that's the way to do it. It's like Magic Johnson. Look at what Magic Johnson's been able to do with his platform for basketball.
I know, but listen, this is what we need to understand about money. They're not making any more land, so you have to buy as much as you possibly can.
Especially in Los Angeles.
If you want to make money on this earth,
that's some expensive ass damn land, though.
You know,
you have to make an investment. And you're right, because they're not creating any more of it. So it's like, can you take this property
like
and
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Florida,
I love
Tennessee.
Wyoming.
This is where you have to get property at. And this is where the people go. What's the skiing place? Aspen. This is where you get these homes where people can go. They rent from you.
Yeah, like Airbnbs and things like that.
Yeah, my wife. No, they're really fly. Great looking houses. My wife put it together. She is just amazing in that stuff. I guess all women just wait for the opportunity for they can show themselves and show what they're capable of doing. Because she's really showed me a lot of stuff that, since I've known her since she was 19, so I seen the change in her.
Yeah. Well, she handles your business, man, and is so she's awesome.
Yeah, she really is cool. I agree with you on that.
So awesome.
When I look at your schedule, bro, and I'm like, dude, you're a busy man.
Man, if you
He's not busy enough. Tell him he's not busy enough.
You can always be busier, right?
Yes.
You can always be busier. But I've got a lot of stuff. In fact, like right now, as soon as we finish this, I got to bounce right now because I've got a production meeting for this pilot that I'm producing, and I've got a production company, so we've got a couple of shows in the works. And I've got shows that I'm on, like I'm on American Gigolo on Showtime starting in January is when I think we start shooting. I've got deal,
Yeah, a lot of shit.
all of this stuff, which it's beautiful. But at the end of the day, I want all of that stuff to just, that's my platform that I can use all my work to give me the platform to do the thing that I want to do, which is the academy, so I can teach people. So I can find a kid that's like Wayne and go, hey, let me help you out because nobody was there to help me out.
Do you believe in burnouts? Have you ever felt burned out from life, or just kind of from acting like as a competitor? He's boxed. He's
absolutely.
I'm a mixed martial artist as well, and there comes a point where like your love is like, God, leave man, really?
Well, you can feel burnout, and I feel that I felt burnout because I did things wrong at a certain point. You don't have to say yes to everything, and time is a finite thing.
It's this little pamphlet. It's The Power of No.
The power. Yes, I've read that.
It's beautiful.
That's when I got hip to it.
It's beautiful. Listen, know what's so awesome? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to give them the money they want, but just to hear the word no first and see how they respond.
Being able to say no is a powerful thing because you can't keep giving away your time. You can't keep giving away your time.
Talk to us a little bit about Excel.
Oh, my daughter's single. Yeah, man. If you guys watching, look up, Google Miley Brady, Maile.
No, we don't have to because we're gonna play it right now. We want to see you.
That's my daughter, Miley.
Perform.
She has a single.
We got your family. Yeah, everybody. Oh, this is beautiful.
Man, I'm like you, Mike. Family means everything in the world to me.
Without it, you're nothing.
Everything in the world. So the fact that I've got a daughter studying drama at Loyola, and she's studying drama, music, and social justice. So her whole aim is to use her platform.
How old is she?
18. So she's in this generation right now that they're trying to use their art to get out ahead. And she's
just right here.
Yeah, she's just playing. She's just like everything that I am is wrapped up in that one package.
Wow.
And my ex-wife directed the music video, and her boyfriend shot it, and I helped to produce it and to produce the music. So we do everything as a family.
No, we all family. Even though we're not together, we all family.
Yes, sir.
Because of that.
Damn, that's so cool, man. That's so cool to see. My brother just had a national tournament, and a couple of boys just won nationals. And I can only see like the father, how proud they are. How proud are you of your daughter, bro? Watching her take the same footsteps as dad. And
well, the ego part of me, to quote Mike, is very proud because I'm like, oh, she's following in my footsteps, and I helped make her. And da-da-da.
Can we turn up as he talks?
Her mother didn't do nothing. But no, that's the thing. This is my blood.
Me. I did that. But in reality, I'm proud of this human being, regardless of whatever she decided to do. And, we still don't know if she's just going to be a performer. She wants to go to law school at some point, and she wants to do other things. Right. So whatever she does, I'm proud of her because I'm proud of this human who now exists outside of me. She's making her own choices. And at least I know that if the Lord took me tomorrow, I've done one good thing on this planet, and it's to help make her.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that makes me very happy. That makes me very happy to see that she's out there in the world. And that's why I wanted to start the academy as well. I love being a father so much, and I didn't grow up with my father, which is a part of the generational trauma that you experience in some Black households. And in a way, I'd like to be that figure for a lot of young men that don't have that, to be able to supply mentors and supply a way of being with my art, saying I'd like to help your journey through my art.
What's the greatest advice anybody has ever given you, Wayne?
Yeah.
The greatest advice anyone's ever given me is to, and I didn't know how to do this when it was given to me years ago by my manager at the time, this dude named Bernie Brillstein, who was one of showbiz greats, like one of the last old school guys.
He knew Mountain Barrel and all those guys.
He used to manage all those cats. He managed, he knew Sammy, and he's responsible for SNL and for all of these cats. His piece of advice to me when I first got on was, you have to learn who you are and be true to you. And that sounds so cliche and it sounds so easy, but the reality is, especially in a business of show, when we're all performing to a certain degree and you're asked to be so many people to so many people, when you don't know who you are, you lose yourself in the shuffle. And I didn't really learn. I'm still on that journey, and I'm 49. I'm just really, in the past few years, I'm just peeling back the layers to go, oh, this is who I am. This is the shit that I won't take. These are the walls that I will build, and these are the things that I will do. I'm just learning that. So to someone new and young in this business or just in life, start the process early. Learn to be who you are and don't take your own intrinsic value from all these other cats.
Well, this is what I learned from what you just said, man. You gotta just know who you are. But from my father-in-law perspective, right this moment, if we know who we are whole totally, then we have a limited thinking of ourselves.
No, we're still learning.
Yeah, we're not gonna be this person for long.
No.
Yeah.
Because you'll be different tomorrow.
Yeah, this is just who we are for the moment. This is not who we are. Sometimes we are certain ways just for survival or for happiness.
In fact, over the course of your lifetime, and this is one of those facts when I found out, I was like, oh, that makes sense. You know that your cells replace it. They die and they get replaced. At a certain point in your lifetime, you are on a cellular level a completely different person. So if you can wrap your mind around that if your cells, which inform so much of what you do and who you are, and your cells have memory, you can change. You can be a different person. You can grow. And some of us feel locked in. That's not the truth. You have to set up opportunity for others. That's why I want to do the school, and that's why I'm trying to set up everything.
Some entertainers think they're invincible. You saw how long Sammy and Frank and those guys were dedicated to dying on the stage.
Yeah.
Wayne, go ahead, man. Go ahead and look into one of the cameras. You want to tell him, Mike?
I just think that he's a beautiful brother. I think that I always say he's the coolest. He's the most conscious straight brother. Every time you play straight, going by all the rules and stuff, people call you Uncle Tom and all that stuff. Yeah. But he's so conscious. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when I first met him, I was one of those people. And then when I first met him and saw his depth, I said, wow, he's one of us. And that's truly the art of life, to make somebody believe that you're something that you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I appreciate you, man. And likewise, I tell that story of when I saw the depth of Mike Tyson, the man, and the journey that you've been on, the lives you've led, and the things that you've been willing to learn and to let go of, and the healing that you've done, that's inspiring. That's inspiring because the narrative could have just gone one way with folks going, oh yeah, well, I know Mike Tyson's story. Mike did da-da-da-da. You took that narrative, you owned up to that narrative, you changed that narrative, and you're still working. And I'm kind of like, Mike started from this deficit, and look who he is now and continues to work on that. And that's inspiring to me.
Well, I don't know. If I have any power, I don't know what the fuck that is anyway. It's from being kind and compassionate.
Yes.
That's my power, if I have any.
Yes, that's your power. But that's the thing, is not everyone attributed that power to you because they had one thought. And that's the thing that you, even just by doing this show and doing the things that you do out in the world, a movie or, the cartoon, or you can make fun of yourself in the video, you were showing other cats who may have the mindset of, well, I'm hard, I'm going to do this. I'm like, the hardest dude is the dude who is willing to be open. And that's you.
Can I tell you something about me? After I met this German customer, everything is about, I'm going to succeed. Everything's about competition. I don't know, pride, ego. jealousy. Those are the worst fucking flaws to have, but those are my flaws to success.
That's part of the thing. Whether you're an athlete or an entertainer or a lawyer, there are some jobs where our faults are our fuel, but the challenge for us is to never let that fuel overwhelm us. And that's what happens is ego is cool, but when your ego does all your talking for you, that's when you get kicked in the ass at some point.
I've been there a couple of times, yeah.
Amen. And I've got a couple boot prints right in my crack.
It started at home before it got
Yes, sir.
It started at home getting kicked in the ass.
Man, thanks for having me, Mike.
Thank you so much. You have to leave, so.
Yeah,
no,
for
man,
sure, man. Well, you guys just watched an episode
more,
of Hotboxing with Mike Tyson. I'm your co-host,
Oh, you got a bunch
Henry
of hundreds
Cejudo,
of million
aka
people looking
Triple
at
C.
you. And I'm Mike Tyson. I love having this show. We have Wayne Brady, all these hundreds of millions of people. Say something.
With the champ. I got to spend the day with the champ. You all be good to each other. Thank you.
We out.